The World Summit Awards. Celebrating good people. Hey, oh no. Yeah. It's a WSA-NIGERIA Awards. The rising inventors is the WSA-NIGERIA Awards. Celebrating good people. Hey. So beautiful. The chorus. You like what you see. You like what you see. That's all makes our words. Oh. Yeah. Some meta words. Rising inventors is a WSA-NIGERIA Awards. Celebrating good people. Okay. No, oh no. Yeah, you're welcome, Mr. Badebasi. How are you? So, in the house, I have Udela, I have Brother Bastian. You guys I've made you both co-hosts. So, both of you can record the program in case there's no issue. you're both co-hosts. Because if you don't do that now. I just logged in again. I know. So well done, guys. Okay. What's up, Meta Words? What's up, Meta Words? Recognizing inventors is the worst of Meta Words. Oh yeah, celebrating good people. The world is waiting, anticipating now to see innovation, innovation now. In science and technology, education and health, entertainment and e-business. I hold my hand so I can take you there. It's the world Summit Award. Oh, recognizing inventors is the World Summit Award. Oh yeah, celebrating good people. Oh yeah, oh no. See all these people looking so beautiful. So beautiful. Different nations, different colors and tongues. We are united by love. Send our life from above. Taking the whole wide world. You like what you see. You like what you see. Recognizing inventors. What's on Meta Words? Celebrating good people. Oh. Welcome to Chicago, America. Welcome Meta Words. Celebrating good people. Whoa. No, oh no. It's the World Summit Award. Oh, recognizing inventors. It's the World Summit Award. Oh yeah, celebrating good people. The world is waiting, anticipating now to see innovation from every nation now. In science and technology, education and health, entertainment and e-business. Come hold my hand so I can take you there. It's the World Summit Award. Oh, recognizing inventors is the World Summit Award. Oh yeah, celebrating good people.
See all these people looking so beautiful. From different nations, different colors and tongues.
There's no fun stuff.
Taking the whole wide world. So hold you back now. I know you like what you see. You like what you see. You like what you see. Recognizing inventors is the worst of it all. Oh yeah, celebrating good people. Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Welcome Africa, welcome Chicago.
America.
Recognizing inventors is the worst of it all. Oh yeah, celebrating good people. Production.
Right, thank you. So I guess at this stage, while we actually wait for participants to join, I'll just go ahead because the good thing is that we have recording. So I'll just go ahead and share like an intro of what Programmers Software or particularly Programmers Foundation under Innovationbed. So permit me to share my screen. Let me know when you have my screen.
Yeah, I can see your screen.
I can see your screen.
Excellent. So let me just share what Programmers Foundation has been doing and what our plans are to share today about the project that we have at hand. First is we just dedicated today being the St. Valentine's Day as the Tech-Valentine's Day. And on record, this is actually to show that some youths and young people around the country can actually choose to do innovative things rather than exercising or having to get themselves too involved in odd practices. So we'll just go ahead and I'll share this part of it. Innovationbed particularly is actually a digital transformation intervention. A digital transformation intervention of Programmers Foundation. And this is actually powered by the founder of Programmers Foundation. And the whole of this is just to try to use our local collaborations alongside people that we've already made in the industry and a lot of that to review or rather impact positively on our local ecosystem, and this in a manner that can actually give us a desired digital economy. And Innovationbed particularly is powered by this the following intervention. One, we have the Fix a Gap and Reskilling Research Intervention. the Fix the Gap and Reskilling Intervention. We have it's actually under this that we actually now have a mandate powered by the OCAM to incubate about 1 million digital citizens within this new decade by 2030. And that we call the Incubation 2030 mandate. So the intervention 2 is a World Summit Awards process, which is a global platform where innovations are rated across the world. And this platform actually enables us to source, promote, and of course, encourage young people to innovate and try to use tech opportunities to better the lives of citizens in the society. And thirdly, we have the ICT for Seeds intervention, under which we have digital transformation and several other principles of intervention processes that can actually help our governments, both private and public sector enterprises, to make life better for their people. And I think later in the day, we'll be listening to one of our fellows share a little more on the project of the UN ICT for Seeds in the person of Bedi Abasi John. The other intervention is actually the grassroots digital policy. Grassroots digital policy addresses policy issues that directly or indirectly affect how digitization, technology, innovation generally impacts on human beings, assets, infrastructures, and the whole of it. So, of course, lastly, we have the data management and governance, management, governance, and analytics. So, as the United Nations World Summit Awards National Expert for Nigeria, we have spent our first 10 years between 2010 and 2020 building globally rated innovation heroes for Nigeria. And the records are here for us to see. And for this brand new decade, our foundation launched a mandate with the United Nations OCAM to incubate 1 million digital citizens by 2030. The strategy is to harvest existing stars as faculty to join us and other global experts on the Incubation 2030 program being organized to rebuild the next generation of youths, innovators of diverse fields across Nigeria with supports of their state governments. In the past, some of our projects that we have actually implemented in the country is actually one of these that we want to share with you. In that project was called SIDO Liberty, where SIDO means Software Implementation, Development, and Outsourcing, and the liberty that goes with it means freedom from you being able to use IT tools to do better things that can make you more prosperous. And of course, we were able to train the graduates from diverse disciplines where we can actually now direct them to where we found opportunities in the Nigerian capital market, where the parent company, being Programmer Software, has actually identified manpower problems, and we're able to polish these jobless graduates that were just around the streets. We took them in and we're able to share the business process of the market we wanted to direct them into, and well over 200 of them were trained and they were directed to the capital market enterprises for where they were all engaged and employed. This simply means that our graduates are roaming the streets, simply just need some intervention to redirect them, retrain them, and have them supplied to where their services can be utilized. And here we are stressing that we want to go back and, of course, try to harvest the innovators that we have built in the last 10 years and use them to build the next generation of innovators in the country. And we share the problem to solve. Of course, we know there are so many problems to solve, and because of this, we are floating the incubation from every state where Nigerians and younger Nigerians will be able to impact and be able to attend to some of these problems, rather than having to say they're looking for jobs. The jobs are all over the place. It's just that they need to identify with it, attend the right reskilling, and be able to solve those problems, and they become more prosperous. And we sometimes share here why we need to reskill youth. And sometimes some people will ask you, who should innovate? Is innovation everybody's responsibility? Certain things are too tough, so people feel innovation should be left for certain people who can handle tough things. Things like artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence seems to look like a very complex area of study. But then someone has to study it, someone has to make it relevant, and someone has to adapt the usefulness of artificial intelligence and make the outcomes of this affect the lives of people. And we're actually looking at incubation of about 2,500 youths across the 36 states, and we'll be able to get our 1 million mandate between now and 2030. And of course, who are the beneficiaries? We are actually targeting young undergraduates in tertiary institutions. We don't care what course of study. Graduates who are jobless and job seeking. Graduates who are self-engaging. And of course, graduates in workforce, whether they are in workforce of government or in private enterprises. So here is actually the basket of all the innovators that have won over the years for this country and want to take advantage of using these people as the faculty and be able to rebuild the next generation of Nigerians from all the states. I will be glad that having succeeded in the last 10 years to build this amount, which is not even enough, galaxy of innovators across the country, we really will need to do so much. And it's good for us to look at our records that no matter how much we feel we are doing, that Nigeria is there indelibly represented on the world innovation map. But then Africa as a continent isn't doing so well. You can see, if you look at the regions here, Africa is doing just about 6% on the global innovation map, while we have Europe at 45. Look at the share of the pie that Europe alone is doing. And that means that Africa is doing very, very low and very bad. And we think this impact of Programmers Foundation is going to improve this. And this project is not only a project for Nigeria, and even in this session today, we have friends from other African countries who are particularly very interested and will be very glad to collaborate with them so that we can actually we'll be able to share some of these local pilots that can make Africa at least improve on this position, because this is actually not very encouraging. And we are proud to say that these are some of our fellows and some of the guys that we have trained. Within the pandemic, we've been able to raise some youths across about 10 states of the Federation, and we're actually increasing the tally of young people that we are impacting from different parts of the country. We have people from Akwa Ibom. He is speaking here soon after me. We have Gombe. We have nomination from Katsina. We have nomination from Benue State. We have nomination from Kano State. We have nomination from Ogun State. We have nomination from Bauchi State, Taraba. We had Edo State, FCT, and we think, of course, with Innovation for Women project, that's actually projects where the certain activities for women will be handled by some local people that we are actually giving some train-the-trainer project program for, and they will be able to rebuild all of this. And this is actually the core and the heart of what we are doing for the country. And this is in line with the European Horizon Europe, for which we have categorized the essence and essentials of what we need to do amongst youths to making them relevant. And it's going to be in the area of democracy and governance innovation incubation, culture and creative industry innovation incubation, social and economic transformation incubation, and of course, particularly for the culture and creative industry innovation, you all agree with me that our Nollywood, our creative and films industry is actually in real big trouble as we speak. And the whole of what you see today is the essence and the impact of advances in technology. And I think the society has to wake up and try to see what they can do. It's beyond money. It's not just about funding or money, but it's about capacity, trying to help those content that they have and trying to help the practitioners in that sector so that they can actually regain their strength, far better, so that they can actually regain their strength. And of course, that respected industry can get back on its feet. Because what you see in there where you're actually having scandals taking over and reigning in that sector right now is all as a result of the disruption in the culture and the creative industry. And this actually had happened before our eyes some years back when we actually saw our Kabu drivers wait under trees, waiting for passengers to come pick taxis, whereas technology is taking taxis to the homes of their passengers. And they were under trees for so long, never knowing that the business is gone. Same for our fathers and grandfathers whose profession or work roles or work jobs were about photography. Everybody became photographers, but they are still in the studios waiting for people to put powders on their faces when photography has actually moved on. And we think we need to actually see what we can do around this to really save the culture and the creative industry by the incubation we are talking about. And I think this week, luckily, we have a meeting. Programs Foundation is actually meeting with the European Union and the OCAM, which is the observatory of the United Nations Observatory for Digital Communications. I'll be speaking with the president of OCAM sometime this coming 2 days or thereabout, of course, and we'll be getting certain people in the Ministry of Culture and Tourism and Information of across so many states in the country to really see how we can think of final solutions and sustainable solutions, and not just the kind of national budgets you see a government just play around with money and say money is what is going to give us the digital economy. And we will be absolutely very grateful to say that we've gotten some feelers and positive responses from Zamfara State, particularly the governor of Zamfara State, and of course the honorable then senior special advisor to the governor, who is now the director general of the Zamfara Information Technology Development Agency, are actually doing so much to reposition the state along the Innovationbed intervention lines. And so from Innovationbed, honorable the SSA to the governor and the governor himself, and of course we're actually in active talks with Edo states, and of course in active talk with Kano, and we'll be getting their impact very soon. And this was just to share with you that this is particularly what we do, and I will not want to take so much of the time, so we need to skip through. But then the whole essence of where we're going is that we are here to make sure that our government should be held responsible to ensuring that we can create more innovators around them. They should be proud to create more innovators, people who do logistics for smart deliveries, people who are in charge of donations for easy. We have Oga Donate in Nigeria. We have people who are innovating in government tenders, people who are innovating for marketplace and tractor services, religious and social financial, so many things. There are 1,000,001 things that a young Nigeria can innovate. We need to hold our leaders responsible for how many innovators are they producing? How many? How many innovators are they producing? And I think it's important we begin to identify with this part of what we are doing to ensure that the effort of what Programmers Foundation has been doing is not a waste. It does not go to waste. And here we are happy about our networks. Here you can find the network of national experts across different countries. We are there with faculty of local, international experts across any country to work with us on this incubation, and this will power. And we're actually offering this platform for any young person in any state to ride on, and of course, we'll be able to promote what he or she is doing. We have put this across to the Honorable Minister, and we're happy that when we spoke at the OCAM conference, at the Info Poverty World Conference last December the 3rd, we're happy that the Honorable Minister, Professor Issa Pantami, was able to open that event in OCAM at the United Nations. So they are actually in follow of whatever it is that we're doing, also with the Federal Minister of Science and Technology, and a lot more. So I will just stop here at this stage and see how my colleague will be able to take on his own talk before the program commences. Thank you so very much.
Thank you too, sir.
Right, so if you can actually share your screen, Mr. Berry Bassett, so please just take on. You are actually a host. I'll leave the meeting and come back now.
I think I've lost my co-host permission.
Okay, let me give that back to you. Okay, I've assigned